At the Whitmore family dinner, Aunt Sharon raised her champagne glass with a smile that never reached her eyes.
To family, who always find room for those less fortunate than ourselves.
The room let out a thin, uneasy laughter. Clara Whitmore's fork paused above her plate, but her face remained a careful mask of calm.
20 years of this, and it still stings like the first time.
Sharon, really, Clara is family. Don't spoil the evening.
Of course she is, but we mustn't forget our generosity. Some of us weren't born with a silver spoon, or any spoon at all.
Clara set her fork down gently. She had learned years ago that fighting back only gave Sharon more ammunition.
They think I have no real bloodline, no history. Well, I'll find my own.
Later, when the plates had been cleared and the guests gone, Clara sat in her modest room and opened her laptop.
Time to call a genealogist. Maybe then they'll see I am not a charity case. I am someone who belongs.
The next morning, Clara walked into Elena Marsh's cozy office, walls lined with family histories.
You say you know almost nothing about your birth parents. That's a very thin starting point.
The Whitmores took me in when I was a baby after my parents died. They've never told me much, and I am tired of being the family charity case.
I'll need their names and any scrap you have. Even a date can break a seal.
That afternoon, Sharon sat in the mansion's dark-paneled study, her face tight as she heard from a neighbor about Clara's visit to the genealogist.
That girl is digging where she doesn't belong. Some secrets are buried for a reason.
She summoned Clara to the study. The air was thick with old wood and older resentments.
Listen carefully, Clara. Stop this little ancestry project. Leave old bones buried. You are a Whitmore by charity, not by blood.
I am not looking to cause trouble, Aunt Sharon. I just want to know where I came from.
That evening, Elena stared at her screen. Clara's mother's birth record was sealed, flagged decades ago, with a notation she had never seen before.
Clara, I found something unusual. Your mother's birth record is sealed under a court order from decades ago.
Sealed? Why would someone do that?
I need to dig deeper. Do you have old family photographs? They often reveal overlooked connections.
Clara remembered the worn album from her parents' belongings. She retrieved it and began turning fragile pages.
This face. It's Eleanor's face, but the eyes are different. Who is she?
The faded photograph showed a little girl, Clara's mother, beside a woman with the Whitmore jawline and proud bearing, yet a warmth Eleanor's portrait never held.
Bradford, my niece is prying into our lineage. Is there any legal way to shut this down? Yes, I understand privacy laws, but there are skeletons in this family closet that could cause irreparable damage. Then get creative. I won't let that charity case rewrite our family story.
This is my proof that something was hidden. I am not stopping until I know the truth.
The phone rang late. Elena's voice was tight with excitement.
Clara, that woman in the photo, I matched her to a birth record. Eleanor Whitmore had a twin sister.
A twin? No one ever mentioned a twin. The family tree only shows Eleanor.
The twin was listed as stillborn, but that photograph proves she lived. Someone buried her existence.
Clara stared at the gala invitation on her nightstand. The Whitmore mansion would be full of guests in 2 days.
The family library has the original ledgers and letters. If there's proof, it's in that room.
She imagined slipping away during the gala, past the champagne towers and forced laughter, into the darkened east wing.
Elena, I'll get into the library. There's a gala in 2 days. Perfect cover.
Be careful, Clara. If Sharon suspects you are looking into this, she'll destroy any evidence before you can get to it.
I've been invisible in that house for 20 years. Now that invisibility might finally serve me.
The Whitmore gala glittered with old money. Clara slipped away unnoticed, heart hammering as she entered the dark library.
The hidden drawer behind the false book. I remember from childhood hide and seek.
She opened it. Inside lay a marriage certificate. Margaret Whitmore, wed to James Lowell. The twin had lived. Beneath it, a letter from Eleanor. My dearest Margaret, I beg you to come home. I have wronged you beyond words.
Proof. She existed. and Eleanor knew it.
In the ballroom, Sharon's smile tightened. She grabbed Richard's arm.
Where is Clara? Find her, Richard. Check the east wing, now.
Richard headed toward the library. Clara heard footsteps and shoved the documents into her clutch. She slid the drawer shut and escaped through the servant's door a moment before Richard entered.
I have the proof, but Sharon will suspect. I need to get this to Elena tonight.
Clara arrived at Elena's office before dawn, sliding the marriage certificate and letter across the desk.
This confirms it. Margaret Whitmore lived, married, and had your mother. The family erased her entirely.
Elena pointed to a hand-drawn family tree. Margaret's branch was scratched out in heavy black ink.
Eleanor disinherited her own twin to control the estate. That guilt in the letter tells the whole story.
So I am not a charity case. I am the descendant they tried to hide.
Clara returned home to find Sharon waiting in the dark hallway, arms crossed like iron.
You little sneak, you are nothing but a charity case in this family. Never forget it.
I found Margaret's marriage certificate. She was Eleanor's twin. What are you so terrified of?
You have no rights here. Not to this name, not to this house, not to a single cent.
She's panicking. That means I am closer than ever to the real truth.
2 days later, Elena called Clara back to her office. She had found more.
Clara, these ledgers prove the money meant for Margaret's line was secretly funneled into the family trust.
She pointed to a column. The same trust that paid for Clara's upbringing, a charity case on her own, stolen inheritance.
I was raised on my grandmother's stolen money. They branded me while spending my legacy.
That evening, Sharon summoned Clara to the study. The checkbook lay open on the desk.
Clara, I am offering you a settlement. $50,000 to stop this investigation and walk away.
She slid a check across the polished wood, the amount already filled.
You want me to sell my birthright for pocket change? To stay the charity case forever?
It's more than you'll ever get otherwise. Take it and live quietly.
The temptation flared, then died. Margaret's erased name stared back in her mind. She couldn't sell her grandmother's truth.
Before dawn, Clara drove to the old cemetery. Overcast sky, bare branches clawing at gray light. She knelt by her parents' graves, then searched the earth for Margaret. No stone, no name, only absence.
She was erased even in death, but I can give her legacy back.
That evening, she passed the Whitmore mansion. Sharon's charity gala spilled light and laughter onto the lawn. Through the window, Sharon raised a toast. To the Whitmore legacy, a name that means charity.
Charity built on stolen gold. This house should be a real charity, a home for children like me.
She walked away from the glittering house, phone already at her ear.
Elena, I am not taking the settlement. I am claiming the estate, all of it, but not for myself. I want to turn the mansion into a foundation for orphans.
That's a massive move. Are you sure? It will mean war with Sharon?
War has already been declared. But this isn't about revenge. It's about justice for every child called a charity case. Start preparing the legal package.
The next morning, Elena arrived at Clara's door, carrying a leather-bound document, her expression grave but triumphant.
Clara, I found it. The original Whitmore Family Trust, sealed in the county archives. It changes everything. The trust stipulates that the estate passes only to direct blood descendants of the founder. Eleanor's line died out, but Margaret's line didn't. You are the sole legal heir.
The charity case is the true heir. After everything, the bloodline they mocked is the only one that survived.
This trust predates any later wills or assumptions. Legally, the mansion and the wealth belong to you. Sharon has no standing.
I could evict Sharon tomorrow. I could take everything. But that's not why I started this. Thank you, Elena. Now we have the legal weapon, but we'll use it to build, not to destroy.
Clara's hand rested on the document, the weight of a stolen legacy finally reclaimed.
Margaret, this is for you, for every child who was told they don't belong.
The path was clear now. Not revenge, a foundation that would erase the word charity case from that house forever. In Elena's office, Clara stared at the trust document. The power it held was immense.
You could evict Sharon tomorrow. The law is entirely on your side.
I won't become the tyrant they were. This house should heal, not hurt.
That afternoon, she visited a local orphanage. Children's faces mirrored her own lost childhood.
This is who the estate should serve. Not egos, but futures.
Back home, she sat at her desk, the lampshade casting a warm circle over the paper.
The letter must be firm but not cruel. An invitation, not a threat.
She wrote, requesting a family gathering to discuss matters of lineage and legacy. The envelope sealed with plain wax, addressed to Mrs. Sharon Whitmore.
It's done. The next time we meet, the truth will be laid bare.
Sharon sat in the study, tearing open the envelope. Clara's elegant script glowed under the desk lamp.
A family meeting? The girl has audacity. She thinks she can summon me like a servant.
She tossed the letter onto the desk and reached for the phone, dialing Bradford's number.
Bradford, Clara has called a family meeting. I need assurance she can't pull anything. Meet me at your office.
In Bradford's paneled office, Sharon paced while the lawyer read the letter, his expression cautious.
She mentions discussing lineage and legacy, without concrete claims. This is just talk, but you should be prepared.
She has nothing. Some old photograph and a sob story. This will be humiliating for her.
Meanwhile, Clara sat at her table, meticulously arranging the evidence, the marriage certificate, the letter, the financial ledgers, and the trust document.
Sharon thinks this is a bluff. She'll walk into that room expecting to win. She won't expect the foundation proposal.
She rehearsed her opening statement, voice steady, as the weight of her grandmother's legacy pressed her forward. The Whitmore family assembled in the grand living room, tension thick as Clara entered with Elena at her side.
Thank you all for coming. I asked you here because it's time the truth about my birthright was known.
Birthright? You have no birthright. You orphaned charity case. Spare us the melodrama.
Clara didn't flinch. She pulled out the marriage certificate, its aged paper trembling in the silence.
This is Margaret Whitmore's marriage certificate. She was Eleanor's twin, listed as stillborn. She lived, married, and her blood runs in me.
She laid down Eleanor's letter, the poignant plea for forgiveness. Then, the financial ledgers, the hidden trust.
The original trust states the estate passes to direct blood descendants. Eleanor's line died out. Margaret's line didn't. I am the sole legal heir.
The room went cold. Richard's jaw dropped. Sharon's face drained of color, her lips forming silent denials.
That can't be. All these years, we thought.
Clara stood in the center, the charity case no longer. The silence held the weight of 20 years of lies about to break.
These are forgeries. She fabricated everything to steal our legacy.
The county records don't lie, Aunt Sharon. And neither do these ledgers. The money that supported me was stolen from my grandmother's inheritance. You made me a charity case on my own wealth.
Murmurs rippled through the relatives. Aunt Patricia whispered to Uncle Richard, "Is that true?"
Sharon, did you know about this? Did you hide a sister from us all these years?
I was protecting the family name. That woman was disgraced. She had no claim.
Another relative, cousin Margot, crossed her arms. Protecting the name or protecting the money.
You all wondered why I was treated differently. Now you know. I was the inconvenient proof of your theft.
Sharon's confident facade crumbled. She gripped the back of a chair, her knuckles white.
They're ready to listen. Now I tell them what I want. Not revenge, but a future.
I'll fight you in court. I'll tie this up for years until every penny is gone.
You can try, but the trust is airtight, and the records are clear. I'll win.
Sharon, this has to stop. Look at the evidence. Just hear what Clara wants.
The relatives murmured in agreement, their loyalty shifting toward the young woman they once dismissed.
I don't want the house for myself. I want it to become a foundation for orphaned children, a home where no child is ever called a charity case again.
A foundation? You'd give away our family home?
It wasn't yours to begin with. It was Margaret's. And now it will serve children who have no one.
The room fell silent. The charity case was offering charity without condition.
Maybe it's time we right this wrong, Sharon, for the family.
Sharon said nothing, cornered and crumbling. The demand hung in the air, waiting for an answer. Clara spread the trust document and a simple agreement on the table. The pen lay waiting.
It's time to choose, Aunt Sharon. Sign, or I'll enforce the trust through the courts.
This house has been a Whitmore home for generations. You can't just.
For God's sake, Sharon, sign it. It's better than losing everything in court.
The other relatives murmured their assent. Sharon's defiance crumbled at last. With a trembling hand, Sharon picked up the pen. The scratch of the nib was the loudest sound in the room. A collective breath released. The house would become a foundation for orphaned children. Clara picked up the document. A quiet, satisfied half-smile touched her lips.
It's done. For you, Margaret, for every child who will never hear the words charity case under this roof.
The charity case had won, not for herself, but for the forgotten. In the weeks that followed, the legal process moved swiftly. At a lawyer's office, Clara signed the final trust transfer documents.
The Margaret Whitmore Home for Children is officially registered. It's real, Clara.
My grandmother's name. It will finally grace something permanent.
Work crews arrived the next week, hauling out heavy Victorian furniture and stripping away decades of dark wallpaper. The mansion transformed slowly. Dressing rooms became bright dormitories. The grand parlor, a playroom. One afternoon, Clara found a large wooden sign delivered to the front porch. She knelt, tracing the engraved letters.
Margaret Whitmore Home for Children. It's more than a name. It's a promise.
The sign was hung by the iron gate that same evening, catching the golden light. That Sunday, the town gazette ran the story. Charity case revealed as heir, donates entire estate to orphans.
The open house is only days away. Soon, this silence will be filled with children's voices.
A warm Saturday sun lit the Whitmore mansion. The lawn filled with neighbors, reporters, and children from the local orphanage.
20 years ago, I was brought here as an orphan, a charity case. Today, this house opens its doors to every child who needs a home.
She paused, voice steady. Then she gestured to the covered plaque on the stone pillar. With a gentle pull, the cloth fell, revealing the bronze plaque, Margaret Whitmore Home for Children, founded in love, rooted in justice. The front doors swung open. Children streamed inside, their laughter echoing through the halls that once held only whispers.
Listen to that. This is what justice sounds like.
Across the lawn, Sharon stood apart from the crowd, her pearls catching the light, her expression unreadable.
She didn't even try to smile, but she stayed. That was enough.
A small girl with braids tugged Clara's hand. "What's a charity case?" she asked.
Something nobody ever needs to be again. Not here.
Clara wandered through the house later, each room now a chorus of young voices.
That's a beautiful doll. Does she have a name?
The girl whispered back, then hugged the doll tighter. A quiet warmth spread through Clara's chest. As the afternoon light dimmed, Sharon appeared in the hallway. She stood rigidly, arms crossed.
You got what you wanted, Clara. The house is yours to give.
I got what everyone deserves, Aunt Sharon. To be seen for who I really am.
Sharon's fingers tightening on her pearls was the only reply. She turned and walked away, wordless. The next morning's town paper ran a front-page feature. Clara's photo, her story, a legacy reclaimed. Donations poured in, enough to sustain the home for years to come.
The charity case had become the guardian of the forgotten. And that was a title she would carry with pride.
Months later, on a soft autumn morning, Clara returned to the cemetery. A new small headstone now stood beside her parents' graves.
Margaret Whitmore. Beloved grandmother. Finally remembered.
She knelt, her hand resting gently on the cool granite, tracing the letters with her fingertips.
You weren't just a hidden twin or a stolen inheritance. You were a life worth honoring.
The morning sun broke through the oaks, warming the cold stone. The silence was not empty, but full.
The house full of children is your legacy now. Your name will never be erased again.
She placed a single white rose at the base of the stone, and rose slowly, her heart lighter than it had been in years. She turned and walked away. The path through the headstones dappled with golden light. Her grandmother's story had been hidden in shadows, but now it stood in the light. Clara carried that light back to a home filled with laughter, her true inheritance. Clara sat at her desk, the afternoon sun slanting through the window. A small envelope lay among the pile of Foundation correspondence.
Handwritten, not typed. From a child, maybe.
She opened it carefully. The words inside were simple but piercing. Dear Miss Clara, I used to be a charity case too, but this home made me feel like family. Thank you for showing me I matter.
This is why. Every struggle, every truth I dragged into the light, it led to this.
She placed the letter into a scrapbook already thick with photographs and news clippings, a chronicle of transformation. Rising, she moved to the window. Outside, children chased each other around the old oak tree, their laughter a constant rhythm.
This is a real home now. A place where charity means love, not shame.
In that moment, Clara understood that true belonging isn't inherited. It's built, day by day, with compassion and courage.
And I wouldn't trade it for all the Whitmore fortunes in the world.
The bronze plaque on the stone pillar caught the last light of day. Behind it, children's laughter filled the air, a soundtrack of transformation. 20 years ago, a girl was called a charity case under that very roof. Now, those words held no weight. Clara Whitmore had taken a legacy built on lies and forged it into something unassailable. A place where every child belonged. She didn't seek revenge. She built a bridge. And the lesson was clear. True belonging isn't inherited. It's built brick by brick with courage and love. The Margaret Whitmore Home for Children stood as proof that even the deepest family wounds could become gardens. And in the end, the charity case had shown them all what it truly meant to be a Whitmore, not by blood, but by heart. The camera lingered on the plaque one last time, then pulled away, letting the laughter carry the story forward. For every child who ever felt forgotten, this was the promise. Here, you are home. And that, perhaps, is the greatest inheritance of all. The evening sun draped the porch of the Margaret Whitmore home in amber and rose. Clara sat on the old wooden bench, the same one where she once hid from cruel toasts and colder glances. Now, the house behind her hummed with quiet joy, a lullaby of belonging. She watched the sun slip below the oaks, painting the sky in strokes of forgiveness. The charity case had become the keeper of second chances, the truest heir of all. She needed no fortune, no recognition, only the knowledge that no child here would ever be called charity case again. The breeze stirred the leaves, and for a long moment the world was still. Then the screen door creaked open, a child's voice calling her name for dinner. She smiled, rose, and walked inside. Home, at last. The camera holds on the empty porch as dusk settles. A story ends, a legacy begins.